Today I wanted to come on and do a comparison of the He Reads Truth and the She Reads Truth Bible. Both of these Bibles are in the Christian Standard Bible translation, and they're both from Holman. And I just thought I would go through a book. I'm going to go through Matthew and both of these just so you can kind of get an idea of what the difference is. If you weren't sure, which one you wanted to buy, or if you wanted to buy it for, a family member or friend, and just kind of see which one would be right, or if it's something you're interested in. So anyway, I thought I would just go through them for that reason, just so you can see the difference. I have read through the entire She Reads Truth Bible, all the reading plans, all the devotionals. I've been through all of those. I have not read through the entire He Reads Truth Bible, but I did do a review on that very recently, which I will post the link to that and also to the She Reads Truth review that I've done before, just so you can see that as well. But for today, I'm just going to go through one book from each so you get an idea of what the difference is. So She Reads Truth obviously is here on top. This is a rose gold leather touch cover. Really love that. This Bible's been through the ringer. I carried it everywhere with me for a year, and it's still in pretty good condition. Besides, the gilding is pretty messed up, but I mean, that's to be expected when you carry a Bible around for that long. And then the He Reads Truth here, this is in the saddle brown leather touch. You can see they're similar sizes, and I have them lined up right here. They're pretty similar. The He Reads Truth appears to be a little bit thicker, but they're very similar in size. She Reads Truth is going to have, mine does, gold page gilding. Mine's obviously pretty banged up as I carried it with me everywhere, but that's really the only wear and tear I see. So to me, that's pretty good. Anyway, this one's also going to have the gold page gilding, obviously much better conditions. I haven't used this one the way I have my She Reads Truth. They both have perimeter stitching. They both have 2 ribbon markers, so all that's pretty similar. But now let's go ahead and dive into the book of Matthew. I'm going to start with my She Reads Truth. All right, so at the beginning of the book, as with every other book, you're going to see a verse art with a key verse, and then you're going to see a book introduction. So the book introduction has on the timeline a little background, message and purpose, give thanks for the Gospel of Matthew. And then we're going to see a map of the Passion Week in Jerusalem, just breaking it down day by day and what happened and where. And my favorite feature then is this reading plan. So you're going to get the book of Matthew broken down into 4 weeks of reading. And for example, the first one's Matthew 1 to 2. And then you're going to get some going deeper verses. So going along with Matthew 1 to 2 is Isaiah 9, 2 to 7, Isaiah 11, 1 to 9, and Jeremiah 31, 15. So I really love that as I was reading through the Bible in a year, having those verses in other places of the Bible to just connect and draw everything together was really helpful for me. Okay, so that's what I like the best about that. Then we're going to see this is a single column layout. You're going to have wide margins. I did not write in this Bible because it was my reading Bible and I chose not to mark it up. You definitely could, just as I always say, test out which pen or medium you're going to use in the Bible, but it does have wide margins for that purpose. All right, in the She Reads Truth, we're also going to see devotionals. So I enjoyed going through those. I read all of those as well. And there's some scripture verses to go along with the devotional that you read. So that was helpful also. This is a black letter text. As you can see here, we're in Matthew and we have no red letter. Gonna hit another devotional here. I love the single column layout in this Bible. I think it's really helpful for reading. I think this is like an maybe 7.5. I can't remember now, but it's around there. Somewhere between an 8 and a 9. I had no trouble reading it. It seemed like it might be small at first, but I read this for extended periods, and just the layout, the line spacing, it really helped me be fine with that font size for extended periods. So there's not a ton of extras in here, so that was, to me that was kind of helpful because I just wanted to focus on my reading plan, and I don't mind obviously having some extras in the Bible, but this was nice for straight reading. You have those devotionals in there. But other than that, and the reading plan at the beginning, the book introductions, that's mostly it for this one. It's another devotional. So we've had several. I think we've had 5 maybe. I should have counted them, but that's okay. Maybe you counted them as we went through. Paper's not super thick. Like I said, I've seen a lot of videos of other YouTubers writing and doing art in these Bibles, the He Reads Truth and the She Reads Truth. So you definitely can. Just be mindful that the paper's not super duper thick. All right, we hit another devotional, Jesus is King. And then we get to the end of Matthew, taking us into Mark. All right, so that is the She Reads Truth. Whoops, as I like damage a page. It's all right. Like I said, this Bible's been through the ringer. This was an everyday carry Bible for a whole year for me. I've used it other times here at home, so it's been through it and it held up pretty well. All right, now we get into the He Reads Truth. So the She Reads Truth, as we saw, was the reading plan, the book introduction, the verse art, and some devotionals throughout. So now let's check out Matthew and the He Reads Truth to see the difference. All right, so again, you're going to get your verse art in the beginning. You're going to get your key verse. The She Reads Truth had it over here. Sorry for the shaking. He Reads Truth has it at the bottom of the page. So very similar book introduction. We have on the timeline, a little background, message and purpose, give thanks for the Gospel of Matthew. I think it's pretty identical, except maybe the layout's slightly different. Then we have the reading plans. Again, I love this feature. So again, we have Matthew 1 through 2. It's going to give us the same verses to go along with that. So these are identical reading plans. So if you were doing this with a spouse or a sibling or a friend, you could use the He Reads Truth and the She Reads Truth and have the same reading plan. So that's pretty cool there. We're also going to get an outline of the book of Matthew here that spans across a couple pages. So that is a difference between the two. And then we're going to get into the scripture. So again, we're going to have our wide margins. We're going to have our single column layout. The She Reads Truth, the chapter numbers were more of a gray color, where these are black, a little more bolded. Still easy to find in both of them. Still a black letter text here as well. Now, instead of devotionals, the He Reads Truth has some other features thrown in here. So this is the 12 disciples. It gives you their name, their family, their occupation. So that's a difference there. So instead of the devotionals, we're going to see that. As we'll go through, we'll see what else. Sorry, my dog's scratching his neck with his paw, and yeah, his collar's jingling everywhere. Anyway, we're going to have a chart of the Beatitudes here. It gives you the Beatitude, it gives you the verse, and then it gives you C also, some verses that go along with that. So that's really cool. I always get excited when Bibles tie scripture into scripture like that, and just kind of let us see how the themes carry throughout the whole Bible. So that's a really nice feature there. All right, here, who is Jesus? Gives you some statements about Jesus, like he's the Son of God, he healed the sick, he has authority over death, he has the power to forgive sins. Gives you a little explanation and gives you references in the Bible of where we can see those attributes. I just love this layout for reading. It really worked out well for me when I read through the She Reads Truth. This is Jesus' ministry in Matthew. So it just gives us like Bethlehem, where he's born, Nazareth, his boyhood town, Judean wilderness, where he's tempted, and gives you scripture verses to go through it. It goes all the way through when he was arrested, crucified, and resurrected. Colors are a little more muted in this one. I didn't show some of the most colorful pages in the She Reads Truth. There's definitely introductions that are a lot more colorful than the one I showed you, but these colors are a little more muted in this one. Here is Matthew's 5 discourses, basics of the faith, the character of the Christian, mission of the church, kingdom of heaven, end of the age. Okay, why are there 4 gospels? It gives us the gospel, the original audience present Jesus as, and some unique features. It's pretty cool how they break those apart there. Okay, we're getting towards the end here. Just want to see if there's anything else before we close this out. Okay, here we go. This is key people in Matthew's gospel. And then we are at the end, and we're going to get into Mark. All right, so there we can see the differences between the two. So what are my opinions? Well, obviously, I love the She Reads Truth. Sorry, I'm like seriously camera earthquaking here when I put those down. Anyway, I love the She Reads Truth. I read through that. I liked that it's single column. I love those reading plans. Devotionals were a nice touch. So I really enjoyed going through that. He Reads Truth is the same layout, that single column, the wide margins, the book introductions, the verse art, which I love in the She Reads Truth, has some very colorful, bright verse art in there as well. That's a nice feature. The He Reads Truth, instead of the devotional, the devotionals throughout has more study content. Like I showed you the different charts, different maps, etc. If I'm being totally honest, as much as I love the She Reads Truth, I really wish they would have included some of that study content in there as well. Because, you know, we all like to study our Bibles, whether you be male or female. So I think it would have been nice to have some of that in there. I'm not necessarily saying get rid of the devotionals. I have no problem with those. I enjoyed reading those. But I also just really like that study content in the He Reads Truth as well. Obviously, I have other study Bibles. This isn't the only one I use, so it's not like a huge deal breaker for me, but I think it would have been nice to include that in both. But either way, they're both really nice Bibles, great reading Bibles. She Reads Truth is probably one of the Bibles I've used the most out of all my Bibles. I've had it for a while, and I've really loved and enjoyed it over the years here. So I would highly recommend it. Whether they're both great Bibles, so whichever one you choose, I don't think you're going to do wrong with. So anyway, this is the She Reads Truth, the He Reads Truth. They're both the CSB translation, which I also love, both from Holman. Both have really great features. If I could change anything about them, like I said, I would probably just put more of the study content from the He Reads Truth into the She Reads Truth. But great reading plans, highly recommend.